truth is finally here. Hi everyone, Marty Runick again from Gun PDR Training, and today we have something for both you auto body and paintless dent repair techs. I'm going to be talking about the Fairmont method a little bit on this one. We're going to have to use tension on it. This is my personal vehicle, my personal pickup. Got lightly rear-ended, very lightly rear-ended, didn't even mess the bumper up at all, but as you can see, put about a football size dent in my bedside. Now, if I try just taking this out without putting tension on it, it would be a nightmare. All I would do is make the dent worse and worse until it would be unrepairable. This one will need tension used on it. It's got about a 140-degree crown on top, but you can see that pressure buckle right at the front. Well, that buckle is going to be our problem with this dent. That's why we must use tension on this. So even when there's no indication of a rear end hit, that pressure buckle is your indicator that there was a rear end hit. Now, I've seen a lot of paintless dent repair techs out there try to repair stuff like this. Doesn't show like it's been hitting the rear end at all, so they just assume they just got to pick up those lows and tap down the highs. That will not work with this, guys. It'll only make matters worse. Now, this should be a very fast repair and fairly clean repair because we are going to do it according to the Fairmont method of metalworking. Tension first, and then we're going to probably use glue pulling. Hopefully we won't have to go in there with any tools. Alright, before we place our tension tab, we're going to clean the area with denatured alcohol. Don't want any wax or grease on here whatsoever. We're going to be putting quite a bit of tension on this, so that tab's got to hold well. And we're going to check it with the back of our fingernail to make sure we got good chemical tooth, which we do. And we are good to go with our tab. Okay, also before we place our tab, we are going to heat the panel area to about 140 degrees, both the panel and the tab. It's very important to do both. You can't do just one. It will not work well. You'll pull that tab right off. Right about 140, I've noticed, is sufficient for most of the time. Every once in a while, I'll use 160, but that's for a real high tension pull, and I don't think we're going to need that here. 140 should be just fine. I don't anticipating needing any more than about 500 pounds max on something like this. Hopefully not that much. And we're almost there. Okay. Now we're going to take our high capacity glue gun out. The one I use is made by Anyon, A-N-Y-Y-I-O-N. You can get it off Amazon, I believe, still. It's got very, very good capacity to it. The normal glue gun will not get both of these tabs at the same time. I usually use the 300 watt setting, not the 150 watt. You need 300 watts to get that glue hot enough to give you enough volume to get enough glue on that tab, and also to get the glue hot enough. Make sure to wear gloves too, because it gets pretty hot. You have to hold it for about 30-45 seconds at least before you let it go. And you press it fairly firmly into the panel. You don't want too much of a void there. And this tab is very bendable and flexible, so make sure you bend it roughly to the shape of the panel. You don't want too much gap between the tab and the panel, so the glue should fit nice and tight. That's one of the really nice things about these tab designs. It's very, very easy to shape to the panel. Okay, and here we are all set up for our pull. We've got our pull post up, of course, with everything attached to it. Once you get it set up like this, it's amazing how often you use it. We have some information on some previous videos. And we got our post here, chain binder that holds it securely to the floor. Or if you don't have a chain binder, you can use a ratcheting tie-down strap. And here's how we secure the front of the vehicle so it won't pull as you're making your pull with your ratcheting tie-down strap. Most of you auto body guys will know how to do this, no problem. You paintless dent repair guys probably want to watch that video we've got about how to convert your garage to a system that'll pull for you. And don't forget that all important at least 30-degree angle on that chain, fellas, like we talk about in that video I mentioned. Never ever a straight line on that chain, at least a 30-degree angle or more. And we're about ready to do our pulling, fellas. starting to come out of there pretty good. Yeah, we got quite a bit of tension on that puppy. Maybe just a bit more. Yeah, that should do it. Here with our paddle. Well, I apologize. I had the camera turned off while I was working the front pressure buckle, so you won't get a chance to see that. Sorry. All right, we're going to take down a couple minor highs with a polished hammer. Check our tension first. That's all right. All right, I left a minor little pressure trap at the bottom that I didn't see. I'll take that out real quick. Very light tension on fellas. And remember, all this work is being done with the tension left on the panel. I generally don't take the tension off the panel until I'm almost done with a repair. All right, we're going to use glue pulling to pull a small little low. Should be a fairly soft pull because we have the tension on it, so it'll make the glue pulling a whole lot more effective. All right, we've also got a very small little spot right up there, so we're going to put just a couple of drops of glue on that. Again, with tension, we don't need a whole lot, fellas. Well, normally I'd use a mini lifter here, but I'm too lazy to lift the bed cover out. We'll just use a slide out, a small one. We've still got tension on it. And we had it up pretty well. Okay, I just want to show you guys how to get one of these large tabs off with a lot of glue on it. Just heat everything up. When it gets hot enough, it'll pull right off. Okay, after our glue pulling, we do have a few minor highs to get out. I've had quite a few techs ask me why I use polished hammers more than knockdowns. I always have. I like the action of a polished hammer better than I do a knockdown, especially the small ball peen end of it. I do use knockdowns. It just kind of depends on the dent. On trucks, hammers are definitely my favorite and use metal a whole lot faster. And I'm just I don't know, too lazy to use a knockdown. Once you get accurate with these things, it actually is faster than the knockdown. I think it does a better job. And one more thing, a common misconception about tension is you can only really use it in the front or rear end hit, but you really can't use it when the panel's hit straight on. That's not true at all, fellas. I use it constantly when I get dents that are hit straight on. Sure, you do need it in front and rear end minor hits, no question about that, but it's a very valuable tool, guys, and whenever you can use it, it helps the crowns to come out better, it helps your finishing work, it just drastically reduces the time of the repair. Like this repair right here, it's not taking hardly any time at all. And looks like we're about done. Okay guys, just a quick pan through the dent. Looking pretty good. We do have a few stamping marks in and around the area, but it's a pickup truck, of course, it has stamping marks. But again, guys, tension is a very valuable tool, not just for dents like this, but for all kinds of dents when you can use it, of course. Probably the thing I like most about using tension when I can is it drastically reduces the finishing time. This dent wouldn't have finished anywhere near as fast had I not used tension on it. Wouldn't have finished at all, actually. And as always, fellas, if you feel you learned something from the video, don't forget to like us and subscribe. And please tell any friends about us, because we are trying to get past the 10,000 mark on YouTube. Put you in a whole different category, and we want to get there. Thanks, everyone.